beginning and the end. That is the final step in metaphysics. All the other steps lead up to that. You are and you have and you do in accordance with your consciousness. There are other ways of looking at life which are superficially correct, but ultimately the final truth is that your life is a state of consciousness. Your so-called physical body is the embodiment of a part of your consciousness. Your home is the embodiment of another part of your consciousness. The kind of work you are doing, whether you are in work which you love or work which you hate, is the expression of your consciousness. The kind of people you attract into your life are the expressions of your consciousness. About your fellow human beings, people are trying to change outer conditions, but leaving their consciousness unchanged, and it cannot be done. Consciousness creates, whether that is an aware consciousness, that means objective, or an unaware consciousness, means subjective. Everything created has its cause in consciousness. We see the effects, but effects never create more effects. Everything ultimately leads back to the state of consciousness. These have always been the prime questions that we must ask in order to discover the ultimate meaning and purpose of our existence. They are the basis of the seeking of liberation and self-realization in the yoga tradition. In yoga, the divine is defined mainly as the essence of consciousness. The yogic spiritual quest is a practice of meditation in order to discover that. Looking at the mind. Today, we usually look at the mind according to the approaches of modern psychology. We focus on the subconscious mind, memory, and past experiences as the measure of our mental state, the ground of which our thought and emotion develop. Then the examination of mind usually consists of trying to understand our personal history, including uncovering hidden or repressed traumatic experiences that may inhibit our functioning in life. In most of current psychology, the personal mind is our real consciousness, and somewhere in it our true self or identity can be found. Modern science similarly identifies mind and consciousness, equating the faculty of thinking with the power of awareness. It takes us back to the basic Cartesian dictum, I think, therefore I am. It regards consciousness as primarily self-consciousness, the activity of the personal self as, for example, the ability to recognize ourselves in a mirror, which capacity animals, except possibly for some primates, do not seem to have. On this basis, modern science identifies consciousness with the mind and the mind with the brain. This identification has resulted seeking to improve our mental and emotional functioning through altering brain chemistry with pharmaceutical preparations. mainstream science usually does not recognize consciousness as a spiritual or cosmic principle apart from the mind. Though some trends in the new physics are beginning to suggest this, it is still a largely physical view of the mind that we find in medicine today. The yogic view of the mind, however, is very different. It is based on meditation and inner experience rather than outer experimentation. It tries to understand the mind through introspection or turning our awareness within rather than by analyzing outer mental patterns. It encourages us to observe the mind rather than follow its reactions. It teaches us to understand the process of perception and how it conditions us rather than to merely examine our memories. The yoga tradition also classifies the mind in a different manner. It defines mind in the broad sense, what is called chitta in Sanskrit, chittam in Tamil, as all aspects of conditioned consciousness. Under the concept of chitta is included reason, emotion, sensation, memory, the instinctual part of the mind, and the ego, all that we ordinarily consider to possess some degree of consciousness within us. Yet, under the concept of chitta is also a higher creativity and intuition beyond the ordinary mind and physical consciousness, which few people may develop in a significant manner. Chitta, moreover, extends beyond the personal mind to collective and cosmic aspects of mind. Chitta is mind as a cosmic principle, not simply the human mind. Mind and consciousness, two different powers. Even more significantly, yoga radically distinguishes between mind and consciousness, which it regards as two separate but related powers. Yoga regards consciousness, called chit, as something other than the mind or chitta. This is very different than modern science, but also most of the world's philosophies, which generally identify mind and consciousness. The mind is an instrument of thinking and sensing on various levels. Mind is called the inner instrument, or antakarana in Sanskrit, related to the body, which is our outer instrument. The mind is looked upon as the sixth sense after the five bodily senses and is regarded as an organ, not our true being or the basis of a sense of self. Chit is pure consciousness, unmodified by any mental activity. Chit is awareness of what is called the Purusha, the inner being, for which the mind is but a tool of perception and expression. Yoga similarly regards mind and brain as different though related. The brain is the physical vehicle for the mind, but not the mind itself. The Purusha is in our inner self, while the mind, we could say, is like our computer and the body is like the car we drive. Mind and body are our internal and external instruments, but not our real identity. Just as you are not your computer,